Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another YouTube video. I'm Sean's Mapping, or the Sultanate Empire, and in today's video, we are going to be continuing What If Civilization Started Over. Now, we are back down here in South Africa, where we will pretty much be starting all episodes for the foreseeable future until this whole map is filled up. At least for now. Anyways, we come back to the teal team. They have something funny that just happened was I recorded this, right? I did so much just to realize that the recording paused. So yeah, that happened. Anyways, Teal Team explores in this way to just kind of do a brief summary of what ended up happening. Teal Team explored up this way. They also explored up towards Ethiopia. The Bright Blue Team expands into some more territory. Like so, this time a lot smaller expansion as to not collapse like the bright, like the light blue team down at the bottom. These guys down here, these ones, as you know from episode 1, they collapsed and fell apart because they expanded too quickly because their king was kind of an idiot. But honestly, what can you expect from us? That's kind of what happens. Like, there are always those people that are like too too arrogant, too like prideful for their own good. But we see the younger brother over the span of 19 years kind of expand like so into all of this area versus his older sister who only expanded into a little bit of area. Now, this light blue team, we don't know what their plans is. Well, I know what their plan is. You guys don't know what their plan is because this country is controlled by my friend X Dragon. For some of you who may be fans of Ender M, you will know who he is as he's been in a couple of streams that Ender has done in the past couple of months. But if you don't know who he is, that's okay. He's not that important. I'm kidding. I love him. Good guy. But he really is not that important. He has certain plans for certain things, and you'll figure that out over time. But moving away from him and over to India. This is a country that is created by my friend Branch. And Branch is the son of the I forget what Indians call their kings. I'll search it up and it'll be in the next video, which will be coming out Sunday because every Thursday will be the new series that I'm going to be uploading. But the Branch, my friend Branch, controls this country right here. And basically, he is the second son of the king of Sri Lanka because his kingdom started in Sri Lanka and they expanded into India. Basically, the firstborn son has more right to rule than the second or third. And the king of India has 3 sons and 2 daughters. And Branch is the second-born son. So we'll see what ends up happening with that story. But we're going to be moving from India and all the way back up to the Eldari kingdom as we follow Ender M and his story of reuniting his people into one. So I had done quite a lot of this like stuff when I realized that the recording had paused. I was like, ain't no way. This shit just paused. And funny enough, it paused. And goddamn was I pissed off because I did so fucking much and I had to just undo all of it. Like that's the worst nightmare of a YouTuber. To be doing so much, thinking you're getting all that footage and recording, just to realize, nope, it didn't even record. Either that or your voice didn't record or you just straight up like forgot to like even record what you were doing. Like that's just the worst. Or the recording paused without your knowledge and like that's just the worst feeling ever, bro. Like it is so bad because then you got to redo everything you just did, which is so fucking annoying. But anyways, so just to recap, Ender did attack these two before I noticed the recording had paused and ended up taking them over. So now that we're caught up to where I was at, these two countries at the bottom, the both of the blue ones, end up uniting into one, seeing the threat of Ender. And it is at this point where Ender might come across his very first challenge. As both of these countries on their own are not strong enough to deal with Ender, but put them together and they might stand a chance if Ender doesn't do any smart stuff. But the war begins, with Ender kind of sending a message to their lord saying, reunite with me or face invasion. Now, these lords, being absolutely arrogant and prideful, deny the reunification, so Ender begins his invasion. The invasion goes slow for the most part, due to the fact that their forces are kind of, matched in power. Ender, though, is able to basically besiege the secondary capital, or well, the other capital, the other major city, before pushing down on the last one. And after about 6 to 7 months of fighting, this kingdom will surrender. However, Ender will be unable to do any war for the next 2 to 3 months. Well, actually, for the next couple, like 2 years, because that war was very costly for him and he does not want to collapse all over again. So, we're going to be moving away from him and we are going to be looking at some other countries expanding here in Eldari. Now, what do we see happening? Well, first thing we see happening is uh, also let me know down in the comments if you would like to see a layer that has all of the kingdoms at their peak, their height. So, like any empire or nation that rises throughout the series to become a absolute powerhouse that ends up crumbling and collapsing. I will create a layer basically as essentially a claims layer so that when certain countries pop up, it will kind of be like they are a part of this kingdom back in the day, stuff like that. But I will be creating that layer anyways, just for my own uses when I'm doing wars that involve like old kingdoms rising back to power. Um, but I will be doing it for myself. I just want to know if you guys would like to see something like that. But we will be seeing this team right here expand into Sweden. Not really exploring, just kind of expanding, really, um, because they don't want to do too much as they notice that Ender is, growing and declaring war on people. So he doesn't want to, do too much. The king of this red country doesn't want to do too much just in case Ender does invade. Now, what we end up seeing across the board is just general preparations and stuff like that. What we do end up seeing actually is this country right here, this like grayish looking one, declare war on this purple, like maroon color country. And you know, war is going to happen. And everybody realizing Ender's rise to power once again and him becoming a powerhouse in the region will, kind of want to prepare themselves for this war. And that is exactly what they do. So these two countries end up freaking ganging up and jumping this country. They cut the last major city off from the capital as they kind of move towards the capital, and it's at that point where this country just kind of surrenders over. With like the bluish gray country, which is actually being led by Ender's uncle, getting all of this southern land and also this major city right here, and all of this land down here, which is actually be and with the northern country getting all of this northern land up here um, during the war after the surrender, with the borders going to look something like this. Now, the southern country, uh, this one right over here, which is being led by Ender's uncle, who was kicked out of the palace after Ender, came of age, um, essentially got not that much out of that war, but it's better than nothing. So what we end up seeing is this country right here end up going to war with their neighboring one, like so. And they go to war and their forces begin to push in, like so, take land like this, in the southern portions. But eventually, they need to retreat. They begin to retreat back to their own territory, and which allows this country to, push back and take their land back. And after they retreat back into their country, it's realized that after about 2 years of peace, Ender has redeclared war on this country. Now, since they were already in a war, Ender has already made significant gains. And this country is fighting a two-front war. So, to save themselves, the country sues for peace with both Ender and this Pink Nation. But Ender, wanting to reunite his people, does not accept the peace. The Pink Nation, however, does accept the peace. So they just take all of this land down here for themselves and, peace out with the Grey Country. But Ender, wanting to reunite his country, his countrymen, and his people, does not accept the peace from the Lord, especially this Lord, as this Lord is known to be cruel and not so nice to his people. So, after about 2 more weeks of fighting, the Lord just sues for peace because his castle is not built to withstand a invasion from another army because, like I said, he doesn't treat his people properly, and honestly, there was pretty much only people living in the major cities. There was no one else in the countryside because of that reason. Now, Ender, after about 2 months of peace, will declare war on this purple nation, and I mean, at this point, Ender's a lot stronger than the purple country. So we're just gonna do that, and Ender will win and take over the purple country. And it's at this point where the other lords realize that Ender's a problem. And they're enjoying the power they have, and they think that Ender is going to be just like his father or his uncle. So they don't want him in power. But they don't know Ender. Ender isn't like that. He is going to rule fairly and justly. But you know how people can be? They assume first, ask questions later. So what we end up seeing here is we end up seeing a alliance form between the Lords of the North. The Lords of the North form the Eldrari Defensive Union, which essentially is to protect themselves from Ender. So we see this brown country right here joining. This green country right here joining. Let me go back and redo those shapes because I forgot to fill them in. So, like I said, this brown one right here, this green one right here, and this blue one right up here. So, the three of them join into an alliance, and all three of them combined are much stronger than Ender. But see, some other countries want to get in this alliance, but like the name suggests, it is only for northern countries. So, what ends up happening is Ender ends up forming his own alliance. And that is with two countries that are really comfortable with him and, want him back to lead them. The first country is, of course, this pink nation right here who he saved. So they're fine to go back under Ender. The secondary country is the purple country right over here, who also wants to be back under Ender because the Lord realized that he can't really rule that region properly, especially on his own without the help of the crown. So we have Ender's alliance, and then we have the Northern Alliance. We may see an alliance war take place. Maybe, maybe not. But we will see this pink country with the aid of Ender, or this purple country, sorry, with the aid of Ender and their fellow pink country, or their fellow pink country, the pink country over here, we will see this purple country, or this purple team, go to war with the gray country, right here, that is not in a alliance. Now, the pink and purple country will be splitting this country in two, with Ender not getting anything from it because his forces are preparing over here for war with the Northern Eldrani Alliance. So we kind of see the purple team take over the capital down here, and kind of go like this up. Then the pink country gets all this land over here, and so Ender's sending support, but he's not like invading this country completely. He's leaving it up to his two allies to do this invasion, and they do it well. And now they need to be careful, right? Because they share a border with Ender's uncle. And I mean, the three of them separated, the uncle's stronger. The three of them together, they're stronger than the uncle. But like I said, these two right now could probably match up and defeat the uncle, like on their own. But if they're in the middle of war with the square team, I don't think they're going to survive against the uncle. And if they declare war on the uncle, he might most likely just ask to join the square alliance, but they may or may not let him in. That all depends. Now, we are going to be going from up there all the way back down to South Africa. For some reasons. One of those reasons being a group of explorers that are loyal to the younger brother go out exploring. Specifically, up this way, where the orange, where the people, the 600 people from the very first episode, ended up going. Now, if you caught the word I said, I might have given it away to what I'm about to reveal. Um, but as they explore and kind of go up the coast, they end up finding a country, and they realize that these people are pretty much their people. So, but how? They never went up this way. And it's revealed that the 600 people from the very first episode did survive. They lived. And well, they created their very own country right here. And they're a lot bigger than everybody else. They're probably the strongest country to date because one, the light blue team had a civil war that they had no idea about. And then of course the other countries, well, they're brand new and they're small. So, what do we see happening? Well, we see the orange team not really holding any resentment towards any country down here because why should they? Well, the only country in South Africa they hate is the light blue team, which is, the kingdom they came from. But, so they hate these guys down here in the south, but that's it. Besides that, they're fine with everybody else. Now, I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, go down to the bottom of the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you did enjoy. If you didn't, don't hit the subscribe button, hit the dislike button. And I hope you, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the rest of your day or night, wherever you may be, wherever you may live. I will put a link down for my friend Branch's channel down in the description for you guys to check him out. If I don't and I forget, then I'll put it in the next video. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day or night, like I said, wherever you may live, wherever you may be. I'm Sean's Mapping, or the Sultanate Empire, and I'll see y'all in the next video.